Guys, we have to
When
start.
Omar is watching
Start.
Powers.
We have started. This is it.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the June Q&A session. For $20 and up patrons, we are taking your questions directly from Patreon and answering them to the best of our ability. Hopefully things don't get too inappropriate, but I've seen some nasty-ass stuff. So here we go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't just gloss over
I was
that.
one of those. Yeah, I was doing an intro that I had not prepared, and my mouth said things that I'm not ready to back up.
Nasty ass is confirmed.
Nasty asses. Yep. All right. Our first question is from Professor Metal Gear.
Congratulations.
Yeah. He was the first one in. I think he responded like a few seconds after the post went up, if I remember correctly. What was your favorite cartoon series growing up?
Batman animated series.
Probably Muppet Babies before that.
Muppet Babies and Inspector Gadget and Rugrats.
Kermit told me to use my imagination, and I was like, yes, I will, Kermit.
When
When your
DuckTales.
world seems kind of weird, you wish that you weren't there. Isn't that weird? When your world seems weird and you wish you weren't there, just imagine you're somewhere else. What a
It's gonna
message.
go out.
They're a
Love
bunch
that.
of babies.
I
Brad,
still
guys,
follow that advice.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z was my favorite cartoon series growing up. Does that count?
Weeb.
Heck yeah, it does, Ben.
What
No,
a
it totally
weeb.
counts.
Does Frank
Dude,
Rock
everyone was into Dragon Ball Z, even the cool kids.
remember Digimon? That was a good one.
Yeah,
I do remember
Digimon.
Digimon. Tie
Wars.
Yeah, see, I think Digimon's a good answer because you actually cared to watch it the next week. It's not just like, oh, what kind of goofy adventures are my favorite cartoon characters going to have? It's like, oh, I actually care. I'm going to get to see a new Digimon this week. Somebody will Digivolve.
Shut up, Kyle. For Batman, it was always exciting to see like which villain was gonna be on the show. Parappa the
For
Rapper.
which one? For
For
Batman? Yeah.
Just because it would be like a new villain each time, so you'd be like, all right, who's he gonna take down?
Dude, whatever. In Dragon Ball Z, I want to know who's gonna die.
Yeah,
Like,
high
Krillin
stakes.
might be killed. All right. Are we ready for our next question?
88 to go.
Yeah. Our next question is from Casper. He says, how come none of you woke up Buttons for E3? The poor cat just kept on sleeping on the shelf in the back, and it's his favorite time of year. This question got a lot of likes, by the way.
Okay,
Who's
so,
Buttons?
yeah, the cat on the shelf is not Buttons.
That is a stunt double.
Yeah. That's a puppet.
Yeah, that's a Buttons isn't a puppet. I mean, that's like Buttons is an actual cat, whereas that is a puppet version of Buttons.
I don't know if we're allowed to say this, but I think Buttons works at IGN now.
We don't know. That's like the thing. That's like
You want
it's,
to talk-
somehow some people have this idea in their head that we have some kind of control over Buttons, or that like we decide what Button does. And when I can at least remember that Buttons exists, it's so much more work past that to really like track Buttons down and figure out what Buttons is doing. And like Matt Blair was one thing. We tried to get Matt Blair in Easy Allies. He had other things he wanted to do. Buttons wasn't even an option. I mean, we don't none of us have Buttons' phone number. Buttons just shows up every E3, and I was not keen to give out my address.
Whatever, dude. I'm glad he's
The
gone.
general populace. So yeah, no Buttons at this E3. Maybe next year. You never know. Maybe Buttons at PSX. Who knows?
No, please no.
I'm not in a hurry to work with Buttons. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, none of us are.
Yeah, no,
That's my easy
Buttons.
answer.
Yeah. Who was the one Tiger we worked with that one time?
His name was Fancy Prestige. He died.
Oh, you're on it, Kyle.
He died, yeah.
He died.
Let's see.
Fancy Prestige.
Very sad day. For
He was
whatever
poached.
loved Fancy.
But hopefully Fancy's death kind of creates some awareness about poaching and
Yeah.
Yeah.
among broadcasters.
Damn it, Kyle.
Next question.
Our next question comes from Tim O'Keefe.
Yeah. Tim.
He says, "Remember Sammy Jenkins? I don't know what that's referring to, but you have this condition. You can remember everything before a traumatic event, playing Battleborn. However, you can no longer create new memories, and you only remember things for a couple of minutes before you forget again. Due to buying Hearthstone packs and constantly forgetting you bought packs, you can only afford one permanent tattoo to always remember something. What tattoo do you get?" That was an elaborate question.
I'm so
So
confused.
memento, you've got memento disease.
Yeah, he just sprinkled it with some references.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What
Okay.
tattoo do you get to remember?
Don't trust Kyle. That's all I would say.
I think I'm just gonna get my parents' faces on
Don't
my
believe his lies.
my
Don't
tattoo
believe
is gonna be
his
my mom and my dad.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
if
too
this-
serious. I can't handle that.
Sorry,
Yeah.
bro. It just says it's on my chest. I have
Mom
dad on
and
one
dad.
pec, mom on the other pec, and like your parents across the collarbone.
Well,
Jeez.
don't trust
That's not really practical though.
I'll never forget what my parents looked like.
Right, but that's like an emotional thing. But like, how do you need that?
I need it. I need to know which of those people are my parents.
Mine would probably say eat.
I like that idea. Yeah.
That's a very Ian Hank answer.
little eating schedule. Yeah.
I don't think you ever forget. Like people who have memory loss don't forget to eat though.
We should
Yeah.
talk to Sean Finger. He couldn't create new memories for 2 years. He actually had this.
Whoa.
Whoa. What
Yeah.
tattoo did he get?
None.
Oh.
He just had a crazy ex-wife to tell him what to do.
Whoa. That he thought he was married to at the time. It was a crazy story.
Yeah. Turns out he was a real nice guy though.
I think I would always want to remember who I am and like what I am, and so I think I would just get like Hatsune Miku on my chest with no words,
Yeah.
because I think the image would just be enough to remind me.
Y'all keep getting these chest tattoos. What if you wear shirts? Then you just don't know what to do.
Mine would
But-
be like right here.
I would have to shower and stuff, right?
I guess.
No.
Kyle's just wandering the streets in his hoodie yelling for his parents. Little does he know his parents are hiding under his hoodie the whole time.
Have you seen these people?
Yeah.
I would get a big battle axe for my head.
I knew it was gonna be bad.
All the way down.
I knew it.
Oh man.
I knew it.
Brandon and Brad, you haven't answered yet.
Oh, sorry. I'd probably get the Triforce right here. Remember where I came from. Remember where I came from, dude. How I got where I was. All
The
those
Triforce got you where you are?
Yep.
All
I
right.
did.
I would change
I'm
it to the
in video
Deathly
games because of
Hallows.
Zelda.
86 to go. We got to pick up the pace.
Okay, pick up the pace.
I want to know Brandon's tattoo before we move on.
Don't trust Kyle. Don't believe his lies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
He was the first one.
Written on my forearm.
I thought that was just a typical Kyle Slam joke, not serious answer. All right.
No, it's for real.
No,
No
it's all
one,
right.
no one takes my Kyle warning seriously anymore.
Our next question is from Yuri Divinity, better known as Divinity, I guess I should say. This question builds upon the lore of the question that I asked in the last Q&A session.
Lore.
Q&A
Q&A
sessions have their own lore. After your short experience of being the President of the United States, you wake up in your own body. The law you created during your short time as President spiraled the country out of control. Private militias have risen up and taken control of various parts of the USA, including Los Angeles. Suddenly, a group of armed men force the door and storm in, and they point their guns at you. Before they take you and kidnap you, they let you play one game for probably the last time in your life. You can choose any game you want on any console. Which game will you play?
Resident Evil 2.
I remember that my answer was that everyone had to eat French toast. You'd get a free voucher for French toast every day,
Mm-hmm.
or one a week. So I could see this future dystopia where everyone just has too much French toast and it causes this. But Bloodborne probably.
Tetris.
SSX 3. One last
Final
round.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Metal
It's
Gear
entirely.
Solid 1.
Maybe Symphony of the Night.
All standing there with the Soul
Symphony of
Rifle.
the Night.
Yeah, one of those.
Our next question comes from Bradley Spies. He asks, I
Spies.
realize...
It's Brad.
Spies?
It's me.
Bees.
Spies, okay, I'm sorry.
We're learning.
I realize
Slowly but surely.
we may have all had our fill of E3 by now, but I'm curious, now that you've had a bit of time to regroup and look back on it, how would you change it as an event if you could? Obviously, there's not a lot of control over what is available to be announced at any given point, so So assuming you can't just say more cool games, what do you think the show should do structurally in the future? I like this question a lot.
Great question.
Did Nintendo work? Do we like that? Can a company come to E3 with just one game and we're cool with that? I guess.
Way cool with that.
They didn't just come with one game though. Kind of. They presented a bunch of stuff.
The game they came with, I didn't play and had no chance to at all. So unless that was the only thing I did that day. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I was real bummed that EA left. I don't think any of us went over and checked out what EA did, so like I can't say that was successful for them. But I don't know. Maybe it was with the fan base. Like maybe they made a lot of money selling tickets for that or something. The EA thing was weird because they bailed on. I think they were just open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday. Like their EA was not at E3 at all in any capacity.
I think it was Sunday, Monday.
Sunday.
Or no, I'm sorry, Monday, Tuesday.
It was a really weird vibe over there too. Brad and I went over and there was like dance music going on and like flashing, pulsating lights. I just want the entire conference to adopt the Sony class, like orchestra, elevate the tone. Like no more of this like weird hip hop club going vibe. Like Sony set the new tone in my eyes.
I want them to implement some sort of fast pass system. Like,
yes.
Here's the games you want to check out. Here's how many fast passes you can get per day.
Ben did
Sony
it.
kind of did that with the app where as soon as the show floor opened, you could get an appointment on the phone for the VR.
Yeah, they did it with VR last year too. You would run and you would get a ticket and be like, all right, come back at this time. But they should do that like,
It should be for everything.
That is great.
And they should extend it one day and have a public day.
Ooh. All right. Well, while everyone's tearing stuff down, they're like, yeah, we're just about to unplug Kingdom Hearts, but you got one more try.
Yeah, you can play it.
It'd be tough. I mean, even with the media, I was always a strong proponent of the public day, but it gets swamped. It gets swamped when it's only industry people. You have to win a lottery to get a public ticket, I think. Maybe we can do it like that.
Oh my God.
A lottery system to get in the public day.
We can have a coupon day.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
85 to go.
Our next question comes from self-confessed cynic. Amazing job so far, guys. What an incredible that incredible E3 behind us. I need to ask, would you guys consider / are you considering starting up a one-off crowdfunding pitch to send all or part of the crew to TGS this year? I'm thinking something like a Kickstarter, but I'm sure there's probably a more appropriate venue. I know there may be reservations amongst the crew regarding asking a lot from the community and having a whole separate thing outside of your Patreon goals, but a lot of us would love to see you guys go to Japan and film your wacky hijinks. I believe a separate fund is a good solution, as it would give people who can't really afford to commit more on an ongoing basis a way to fulfill an awesome goal. I really hope you guys look into this, as I'm certain I'm not alone in wanting to see EZA reporting live from Tokyo. Thanks.
Oh, that'd be so amazing. I do feel weird about asking like for more, but
it does feel gross, especially when we're like making more money on Patreon via a single Patreon than any other. But you can do one-off Patreon, so like we could set up like a travel Patreon basically, and then every time a event would come up, we're like, hey, if you want to jump into that and give money towards our TGS, great. The more we get, the more we can send. But right away, we're so young. Like I don't know if that's like overreaching to just like set.
That would be weird to me too.
More.
I mean, could we just put like a higher goal on our Patreon for a second and be like, if we hit it, that's cool. We can go back down after, but we just want to go to TGS. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I think if it did exist, it would be a separate thing. But it just feels icky to me. Like year one, 3.5 months into the whole thing, just already it's like, all right, that money's good. Now more money. Right. But it sounds like what people want. I mean, yeah, maybe we can just kind of see fan sentiment and see how many people really are cheering for this. I mean, other than Ben going to Japan, obviously. Like, Ben's opinions in this are kind of moot. It's like, of course Ben wants that.
I haven't said anything.
We all know.
I'm just talking happening.
Yeah, easy, Ben.
Cool. I agree. It does feel gross to ask for more money. Our next question comes from Ulf himself. With Microsoft bringing their Xbox exclusives to Windows 10 and more games becoming only console exclusives like Street Fighter V, it seems like publishers are realizing that PC isn't the enemy of console sales. Do you guys think that in the foreseeable future, Sony will start selling their first-party games on PC, perhaps with their own Steam-like store?
Nope.
No.
Next.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not Sony. Yeah.
Hey, not to go back to that, but I just looked up, and a round-trip flight to Tokyo is only $540.
Well,
Really?
No way, dude.
Lock it in, we're going to
Travelocity.
Japan, boys.
That's so cheap.
Travelocity. If
No,
you
no,
plan ahead to September 6th.
Huber, that can't be right.
Oh, it's
Well-
right.
Figure out when TGS is and look for that period.
Guys, I
Like,
love you,
it's
but
like
we
September.
probably shouldn't do our
Sorry.
travel plans on air.
Okay.
Moving on.
Fair enough, Ben.
This is for you, man.
Moving on.
No, I know. I'm excited. I don't
Ben's going to Tokyo.
it's
hash
happening.
this out.
So no, the reason why I think Sony won't ever is the reason Microsoft is doing what they do is Microsoft makes money on PCs simply from having its software there. Sony, there's no reason for them to put it on PC. They don't need the money from those sales.
Correct.
That was succinct and well
Yeah.
done. Nice
Yep.
job, Kyle.
Next.
Our next question is from Eric Jackson. Now that E3 has come and gone and all of its announcements have had time to settle, what is something you wish you could have made an appearance at E3 this year, or something you wish you hadn't seen, as it was actually a disappointment?
Evil Within 2.
Love you, Jones.
Love you,
How
Joe.
crazy can we get with this?
Go crazy, Ben.
Go crazy.
Because I'll say the one that I've been saying the entire time. Like we saw Mass Effect, but we didn't see it, and that.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
It still bums me out.
I really,
it doesn't make any sense. to me.
really wanted to see Dragon Quest XI
Yeah.
so badly. Because they
Valkyrie
showed that.
Profile 3. Sorry.
Nice.
What was it, Ben? What did you say?
3.
Valkyrie Profile 3.
Okay. Nice.
Bloodborne 2.
Hubert, did you think there's a chance to see Dragon Quest 11?
Yeah, because the last time we saw it, we've seen it in motion. We've seen the character running through a town, running through a field, like environments. So I thought E3 would have been the perfect place to kind of, show the combat system, which they haven't shown, or just show a more complete version of the game. And especially after the response that Ni no Kuni 2 got at PSX, and like the rise of JRPGs this year, Final Fantasy and Persona coming out next year, I totally thought they would blow it up.
I just think Dragon Quest and Japan have like this unbreakable bond.
Yeah.
Like they've never done a major Dragon Quest announcement first outside of Japan, and so I think you're going to see more at TGS, hopefully. But
Or PSX?
yeah.
PSX, you think?
No, because again, that's an American event. So I think whatever they're going to announce and show, they're gonna do in Japan first.
They
and that's gonna
haven't
make-
delayed Dragon Quest 11 yet. It's still
No.
supposed to come out this year.
I believe it will. I believe
Wow.
it will. I think it's something like you'll see it at TGS and then it'll come out in like November, December.
For Japan.
So,
We'll get it
For
a year
Japan.
later.
For
We'll
Japan.
get it a year later.
yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, something like that. Okay, our next question comes from Joetown. What's up, Joetown?
Down.
What two games would you mix to create a dream super game? Example, I want Witcher 3's world and storytelling mixed with a Harvest Moon town and farming elements. That's a really cool mix.
That's a super mix.
1-1.
Oh my god.
This is a tough question.
Can I just say The Witcher 3 and Bloodborne?
Yeah.
That's my answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
wrecked, Brad,
That's the
wrecked.
best game ever.
So the combat of The Witcher 3 mixed with the world
Yes, exactly.
Bloodborne? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With the frame rate, mixed with the frame rate of Bloodborne.
Yeah.
That completely wide open Bloodborne world.
Okay. All right. Listen this.
Don't do that.
Listen to this. He said.
Listen
This
this.
is so close.
I don't have one yet. Hold on.
So much build up for nothing. Oh my god, I'm thinking like a Dragon's Dogma mixed with like a what? A game that actually has a story that you could follow, maybe.
I don't know.
I need more time.
I pretty much love the stupidity of the Dragon's Dogma story.
Oh, I know. I do too. That's why. I'm like Dragon's Dogma is perfect. You don't have to change that.
Actually, the Dragon's Dogma combat would actually be even better than Bloodborne's in The Witcher. I feel
In
like
The Witcher,
the
yeah.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
I know everyone's doing the same thing kind of, but I would do like a Berserk Bloodborne mix or like a Berserk Dark Souls mix or something.
Berserk
Yeah.
already is Dark Souls.
Yeah, but put Guts in there. You know?
Guts is like already in there.
No, but his story, that
Thanks.
world.
Give me Bloodborne with Persona 4, social links and waifus.
Oh,
You're a madman.
I hate that idea.
You're a madman.
that's the most insane idea. Oh my god. This is too good of a question.
Got like 80 more to go.
Yeah, I've got all my questions.
Uncharted 4 and Battletoads.
Okay.
Fair.
Bloodborne and
What?
Overwatch.
Bloodborne and Bloodborne.
Bloodborne
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
and
good.
Ooh, that's a good mix.
Bloodwatch.
Our next question is from Dennis. Unless anybody has any other hot mixes, what was the first game that you got every achievement in or trophy?
Dead Space 1.
Nice. Assassin's Creed 2.
Whoa.
Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time.
Nice.
The only ones I
X-Men, the official game.
what?
X-Men, the official game.
Oh God.
Where you were Wolverine or Nightcrawler or Iceman.
Oh
And
no.
I reviewed it and I finished it and I checked and I had like 880 out of 1,000. I was like, I'll just go get him. And I finished that Iceman level without falling over and beat up a couple more people in Nightcrawler level and I got it. And I was like, all right, done.
Nice.
I think I unintentionally platinumed that first Telltale Walking Dead game because just playing it, you platinum it. But then Bloodborne is the first game I actually tried to platinum and did.
Demon Souls is my first one.
Hardcore
Oh,
Brad.
jeez, too cool.
Too cool Brad.
That's right. That's right.
Our next question, I like this one too. This is from Lance. He says, who is your favorite Ghostbuster?
Thank you.
Egon.
I like them all.
Yeah, you guys pretty dope.
They're one team for me.
Yeah, Ray, Egon, Venkman, and Winston.
Yeah.
Oh, I should specify Egon from the animated series.
Yeah, blonde one, yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, yeah.
Good Lord.
I am strongly of the belief that that is Bill Murray's film. Bill Murray.
Yep.
Bill Murray is Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That movie. If you were to take Dan Aykroyd out, you could still make it happen. If you were to take, any of the guys out, you could kind of formulate something. But if you take Bill Murray out, that movie is not the same movie at all.
Venkman's the main character of both, yeah.
I think not making a man versus woman point here, but I think the Bill Murray-ness is what I'm missing greatly from the new Ghostbusters film. Just his attitude, his kind of carefree nature is just not. I just don't see it
The
anywhere.
flowers are still standing.
Yeah, exactly. It's so quotable.
Bill Murray is an amazing human being.
Still at it.
This question is from Mike Hook.
Mike Hook?
He asks, how do you guys deal with what I like to call gaming anxiety? It is when you rush through one video game that you're currently enjoying so that you can play another game that you will potentially enjoy. I played through Uncharted 4 before Doom had its release 3 days later. Then I finished Doom before Valkyria Chronicles Remastered was released 1 week later. Tried as I might, I couldn't finish before the release of Odin Sphere. What do you guys do to play all your games? Do you have a system? Do you suffer from gaming anxiety?
Yes.
Has it hurt your relationship you had with one game you otherwise would have loved because you were so anxious to end it for another?
Yes.
There's no solve for this. This sucks. There's nothing you can do. Life sucks. It's the word.
The solution I have for this problem is to like fewer things.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, you
good,
really
yeah.
you're doing it right, Ian.
Oh, they did it?
Us and our broad tastes are just
Yeah.
apart.
Over the years, I've been much better at just letting games go. There's no point in me slogging through if I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, you have.
Logging
Maybe,
through.
I
have.
know we
You
talk a
have.
lot about
You've done really well, right?
the zeitgeist, but for me, it's gotten to the point where it's just like, even if I don't finish a game the week it comes out, like it's not going anywhere. I can still enjoy it. So like, I don't know. I try not to rush through games at all. Like what's the point if you do it that way? Like
Gwent is a good example. I didn't Gwent at all. I Gwented once and was like, oh, okay, I understand how the game is played.
I primarily Gwented.
That would have added 6 hours onto my playset. That would have been potentially an entire other game that I would have played.
I got to Gwent, and then I was like, okay, this is Witcher for me now, until I got sick of Gwent, and then I stopped playing Witcher entirely.
I want to play Tiger Woods from last year. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. They had a fun little nighttime mode where there were like neon things. You had to like knock the ball through, and you get like power-ups.
No, that's not Tiger. Tiger's gone,
Tiger, no, it's Rory McIlroy. It's Rory McIlroy.
Graham, what's stopping you? Just do it, man.
Uncharted 4 is stopping me, and then after Uncharted 4 is done, I got a Dark Souls 3, and then after Dark Souls 3 is done, I got to,
we got to shoot an Uncharted 4 spoiler cast.
Yeah,
we got to dig in.
The anxiety. It's real. It's a real thing.
Our next question is from Chris and Rebecca. They ask, "Hi, allies. What do you want to see from Mass Effect Andromeda, apart from a proper trailer? I know my top want is for a less black and white morality system. Would love to hear all your thoughts. Femshep for life."
Femshep!
More
I want to
Krogans.
see.
More Krogans.
I want to see no less than 30 distinct planets.
So,
Based on nothing.
Yeah.
Based
First
on
of
zero
all-
expectations.
Just like a huge. I want the universe to feel massive.
Effect.
I think we should call out Chris and Rebecca for being Easy Allies' best couple.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, they win.
The
Best couple.
McKeegs. The
How do we know?
McKeegs.
They have an account together. They have a Patreon account together under both of their names.
Well, that's, yeah.
So one of my favorite parts about Mass Effect 3 was the stupid, Seth Green was like falling in love with the female robot, and it's just like, isn't it cute? And it's like, no, and you could say, no, I don't want this relationship to happen, and it didn't. That kind of stuff is genius to me.
So you want to destroy more people's lives?
Yeah. That's exactly it. I want to end relationships in the new Mass Effect game.
Jesus.
I think I said this before, but what I want is relationships that you can have and that you can actually it feels more like an actual relationship where it's not just a sex cutscene right before the final mission, but you can just go on dates with your girlfriend or do whatever you want whenever you want. And I also want your ship to be customizable. I want you to be able to customize it.
I want to go into Ian's game and end his relationships.
Oh no! I get to make your
Agents.
character. I get to make your character. I'll make her so no one can love her ever.
Like the Dark Souls version of cock blocking. You just come in as
That'd
a
be
red
amazing.
character and you hit on the girlfriend. No!
Just do all the bad dialogue options in someone else's.
It's really cool.
I got invaded by a douchebag. I love it.
In Mass Effect 1, I really got a great sense of you would go to all these different places and you would meet new forms of life and you would learn about them, and it felt kind of Star Trek-y in that way, and I miss that in the second and third games. I want to be able to explore a little bit more. I want to be able to I don't know, just kind of have those moments where oh, this group of people lives in this really weird way. How do I deal with that? I guess I don't know if that's what you were talking about with 30 different planets, Hubert, but something along those lines.
Unrealistic.
Hubert doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. I never finished Mass Effect 3.
That's all right.
I didn't know you played it.
Our next question is from Lucas Smith, who I play D&D with, a very cool guy. How do you all decide on who gets to review what? Is it based on personal preference, experience with the genre, or a combination of many things?
What Ben wants, Ben gets.
It's not true. Oh my God. People are gonna believe you. That's the worst part. It is not true.
Yeah,
It's not true.
the easiest way is somebody wants something, Huber wants Evil Within, everyone else is cool with Huber taking it, end of story. And then sometimes things are thrown at people that they might not be aware of, like a rare, Japanese something might pop up that it's doubtful Ben is not aware, but might not know, it's launching this month, and it's like, oh, okay, you might want to make room for that, or Damiani can maybe make time for it. And then I think the only turmoil is when you have a Days Gone, which then Huber and I will step into the arena with our weapons of choice, and first to draw blood gets to review. But yeah, every now and then there's something that it's usually a give and take. So it's like, okay, well you take that one, but then 3 months down the road when this other game comes out, I'll get to review that.
Yeah.
I mean, just like bets, you got to remember.
I reviewed Uncharted, so basically I've given up my rights of priority for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think that's true. I think if you want something, anytime there's been a disagreement over who gets to review what, I think it's been resolved
It's never been an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it's never been an issue.
Never. Except when Damiani reviews Persona 5.
Huber, I'm gonna get so many messages now that are like, "Oh, why don't you let Huber review games? What do you take them all?" I'm just gonna be like, I'm not the bad guy.
Totally kidding. I'm totally joking.
Yep.
Everyone that's watching, totally kidding.
Here we go. Our next question is from Chad Ball. No spoilers, but can you let us know who your favorite Game of Thrones character is with a short explanation?
Mine's easy. The Hound, because he has no allegiance. The Lone Wolf. A lone hound, so to speak.
I also think you like him because he killed people with an axe real good.
Yes.
Because he swing, and there go head. I am a big Davos Seaworth fan, a.k.a. the Onion Knight.
Yeah, great pick.
I was one of the dumbasses that was like, I really like this Stannis guy. I think he's got what it takes. I think I'm gonna put my money in the Stannis camp, and that didn't work out too well. But I like all the trustworthy people. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm a sucker. I like Cyclops. I'm a dork like that. So I love this guy that came from a very bad background. Actually has a not good history. Has done things that he regrets, but. The books tie him a little bit more to his family than the show did, so I love his allegiance to his sons. I love why he chose to serve Stannis, and very excited to see him do more stuff this season.
Brandon, I'm also an Eagle Scout. My favorite character is Jon Snow.
Yeah, there you go. There's another poor sap who's gonna get what's coming to him.
But watching Game of Thrones has made me realize that not a lot of forms of media do wholly good characters very well. It's hard for me to believe in the Eagle Scouts usually and to pick them as my favorite. But I think with a Jon Snow, they've done such a good job of having him start from these relatively small beginnings, and you've seen him earn that respect and that trust and that leadership in such a convincing way. I don't know. I'm attached.
Shadow baby. How am I the edge lord? I like Davos. I like Jon Snow. I liked Oberyn a lot.
Oberyn was great.
Oh God, yeah. There are a lot of cool things. I like. Oh, what's her?
82 questions to go.
I was gonna say 75 to go.
They're all cool except the ones that are bad.
Sir Barristan, old badass knight.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Melisandre's cool.
All right, our next question. Robert says, what was the one plot development you wanted to happen in any game franchise of your choosing? It could be something that never happened / developed, but was one of those, it would have been so easy if, or I would love it if this happened because it would mean this for the characters moment. So basically, you get to choose a development in something you love.
Cool. Metal Gear Solid 2 ends on a great note. I would love if you never played as Solid Snake again after Metal Gear Solid 2.
How dare you?
I mean that.
You do in 4.
Yeah.
Old Snake, dude. Come on, Kyle. Don't rip my heart out right now.
I would love to live in a world where Metal Gear Solid ended after 2.
3 was the best one.
You put it that way. You put it that way. I could see it.
Meaning chronologically, or like they didn't make games anymore after 2?
They didn't make 3. 3's a great.
No.
3's a great game, but
3's
2.
the best one.
Kyle Bossman, everybody, Kyle Bossman.
2 says everything you need to know about sequels, about video games. It's like
Right. Quit while
3
you're
is
ahead.
redundant because of everything that is said in 2.
Right.
Oh God.
I don't agree with that at all.
Oh God, Kyle.
I wish.
What if we got Death Stranding in 2004 instead?
Yeah.
So much better.
I wish Resident Evil ended after 5, and that was the end of the timeline.
Well done.
6, trash.
Well done.
It's all trash.
But 7's gonna be all right, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Except if it's just about a hillbilly family, that's not interesting to me.
I wish Metal Gear Solid 5.
Sorry.
I wish Metal Gear Solid 5 felt like it mattered.
Oof.
It doesn't.
Harsh.
It's a filler.
I wish I could erase Deus Ex Invisible War
Good answer.
timeline.
I was bummed when I booted up GTA 4 and it was a new story. That actually kind of made me sad a little bit. Because people were like, oh, I can't remember his name now, but they're like, the crime boss from GTA 3, like, his house is in GTA 4. And I was like, get out of here, that's awesome. Like, drove over to that part of the map, and I'm like, yeah, there's a house over there. It looks nothing like the house from GTA 3. No one's living there. It's like this abandoned house. So I was looking forward to going to GTA 4 and, like, finding little remnants of 3 and Vice City and San Andreas, and there was nothing. They were like, nope, it's over. Like, we made those 3 games, that's that story. Now we're starting something totally new. And and we did get connections between 4 and 5, which was cool. We had characters, and they mentioned Nico in 5, and but that bummed me out a little bit.
I think 4 is my favorite story. It's surprising
Yeah,
to hear that.
it's the only real, other than like Vice City, it's the only real like legitimate Grand Theft Auto story. All the other ones were just like, shit happens. But 4 was like, whoa, that's some heavy stuff right there.
I got a character development one that I actually want a lot. So it's at the end of Super Mario Sunshine when Bowser's talking to Bowser Jr. and Bowser Jr. is like, oh, Peach isn't my mama, is she? I want Bowser to just say, no, let me tell you about your mom.
Mm.
Yes.
Let's talk about your mom right now. I would love that.
Tragic tale of how
Yeah.
she
Moto would not let that ever
He wouldn't
happen.
happen. He wouldn't let it happen.
Kyle,
He
can
wants
you
to keep
please
that
just work for Nintendo?
Dude,
What if
burn
that
that
was
building to
made?
the ground.
What if that like elaborate cutscene was made and Miyamoto like calls everybody in for a special meeting, and they all gather around the computer and they just like force them to watch the delete button?
Yeah. He flips the table over first and then slams it.
Bowser, a Telltale game series.
Oh no!
Seriously.
Oh no!
Sophia joined this video call.
Sorry, that was my friend. I was trying to send her the link to the watch one.
Oh, okay.
Way to go, Ian.
Hi, Sophia.
Ian.
So 90 questions to go. The next one is from Greg. He says, we all love sequels, and we also love seeing old game franchises resurrected, but what is a game or franchise that you love but have no desire to see a sequel? We kind of got a question like this in French.
Nice. I like
Shadow of the
this.
Colossus.
No
Last of
sequel.
Us.
No sequel.
Shadow of the
Next
Colossus.
question. We want to see a sequel?
No, don't want
Do
to.
not.
We want it to stop.
Bloodborne.
Nice.
You don't want a Bloodborne 2?
I mean, I would love a Bloodborne 2, but I also want them. I mean, yeah, Bloodborne 2 would be the greatest thing that ever happened, but like.
You're not making any sense right now.
I just like it when they do new stuff too. I don't know.
They do. They have 3 teams.
Woo, 3 teams.
I don't want to see a Bloodborne 2. Bloodborne 2 would be the greatest thing in the world.
Sounded like me, Ian.
Yeah,
Making no sense.
making no sense. I mean, they need to stop making like Call of Duties and Witchers.
But you don't love
and
Call of Duties.
Mass Effects, and I just want people to do new things.
No, the question was the series you love, though.
Oh, a series I love.
Yeah. So Bloodborne was a really good answer, to be honest.
Yes, I'm talking to you.
But I want a Bloodborne 2. So.
85 questions.
Next.
All right, so we have 100 questions left. This is from Andreas. Do you think weird naming habits damage the marketability of some JRPGs? As a German, I get a chuckle when Japanese devs use our language for game titles or character names, but when most people have a hard time pronouncing your game's names, or they use nonsensical fantasy words or mathematical formulas, I get the impression they're going too far sometimes. Yeah, so absolutely. Like, anything that enforces a stereotype is bad. Like, there are so many people out there that are like, JRPGs are for dumb, weird people, and when they see shit like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, I feel like that gives them ammunition. Like,
Guilty Gear.
I'm convinced that if Atelier Iris, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that if it had like a more simple name, it would be more popular.
Yeah.
Like, how do I talk about that game if I can't even pronounce it?
Yep.
I don't think Hyperdimension Neptune would be any more popular if I had a different name.
Brad found the exception.
Yeah,
It's always irked me that Final Fantasy is always backwards. It's like duodecim Dissidia Final Fantasy. Like, Final Fantasy is at the end. Just like, put that Final Fantasy as the last thing you see, and like that doesn't seem. It's like, don't put it under F. Like, you should. It should be under F. Put that Final Fantasy. Why isn't it called 14 Final Fantasy? Like, it's so weird.
This wasn't always a problem, though. Like, if you go back to the 16-bit and 8-bit days, like, the titles were so simple. You had, like, Mother, Breath of Fire, Secret of Mana. Like, they were all relatively straightforward names, and to this day, people still view that as, like, the golden era of JRPGs. So I don't know where the philosophy changed. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Good question.
Good question.
Yeah.
Our next one is from Michael Wilson. Funding goals on Patreon are usually with $X in additional funding. We could produce this new show. It sounds great, but Brandon is already near death with all the content you guys are producing. How do you guys make the determination that an additional amount of funding would make a new show possible? In other words, how would you invest that money in a way that could both make a new show and Brandon's continued survival possible?
Ooh, I like this question.
I do too.
Jones, field this one for us.
So how do we come up with how do we pick the goals for stuff? Is that what you're saying?
How is 45K gonna make you more capable of doing another series?
Then I can announce this directly to you, allies. But like, I am full time. Time-wise, I do spend the majority of my time working on Easy Ally stuff, but like financially, I've not asserted myself as full time. Whereas like, I'd make that case. I'd be like, okay, guys, I need to pay my mortgage with this now. If I'm doing trailer score, because if I take on one more show, this is all I am doing. Any other prospect I had for doing, like, oh, maybe I'll write a screenplay on the side. Not gonna happen. Like, I would go full force into not only just the show creation, because I just cut a lot of stuff, but like more in trying to get us involved with other companies, try to get us to partner with other people producing other shows outside of that. So I think that kind of represented that last big leap for me, where I'm like, yeah, I can handle all this stuff. I still get a day off here and there to do what I want, but if we were to get that 45 goal, crossing 40 was nuts, because no other Patreon's done that. No single Patreon has done that. So if we got to 45, that would be not as good as that 50 goal, which I have budgeted dollar for dollar where that money would go, that extra 5K on top of that, towards paying our rent for a new place. But yeah, it's not. I don't think there's a specific dollar amount that I could actually put into practice, being like, I have that much money now. Now I can do this. It's more of just recognizing that we've hit we've broken another record on Patreon, and I think the fans deserve to get more for it. So I'm willing to put myself forward and pay myself more as a result.
Jones, that was a good, honest answer, man. I like that.
Cool. Cup of Jones style.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from V8 Dave. He says, "Hi, allies. Not all games age well, and a lot of times I am not totally impressed by the classics that I recently played for the first time. I had the pleasure of playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the first time this year and was so surprised how it absolutely lived up to all expectations." Correct.
Yes.
Do you have any classic games that you never got to play for whatever reason, but later found that they completely lived up to their reputation? The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Absolutely. 100%.
Super Metroid was mine. That game's still-
Pokemon Red.
Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah, good pick.
Deus Ex.
Nice.
I played through Mario 64 last year. Still one of the greatest of all time. Still.
That's true.
Steel.
Our next question comes from Kristen Rogers. She says, will there be an Easy A Battle of the Bands sometime in the future?
We were talking about this
We
yesterday.
were just talking about this yesterday. Yes.
I don't know, but yeah.
Honestly, I think we'll need the studio. Currently, we don't have the proper setup to make that possible.
As EZA stands right now, not something that we have planned. Especially too because we're like a fresh new YouTube channel, and like I don't think it behooves us to like throw up a super copyright licensed hell video up onto our YouTube channel and on our Twitch channel. But musically, we have been talking about all sorts of fun things. Remember, this is the group that put on a Bloodborne musical, so it doesn't have to just be Battle of the Bands. So yeah, that's, dates are not being locked, venues are not being booked, but the conversation has begun.
Jones, I think you're hinting a little too much right now.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. I'm like,
First I've ever heard about it.
Reel it back,
Well,
Jones.
Like we would need a space to do Battle of the Bands. Like we're not gonna do Battle of the Bands in the I guess we could do it in the garage.
No,
But,
audio-wise, it's going to be really hard to do in the garage.
I think we can make it happen.
I think since we're all going to Japan in a few months, that would be a great place to do Battle of the Bands live.
Yeah.
Right, do Easy A live
Is there some karaoke bar somewhere or something?
Yeah. So look forward to that. Put it on your calendars.
Yeah, I wrote that one down.
600 round trip.
Our next question comes from Nick. He says, hey, Allies, since you aren't all full-time at Easy Allies, what are some other things you do for work?
Silence.
Just this.
Yeah, this is the one.
Just this.
Yeah.
Pretty sure everyone else is just this.
Ian works a lot.
Ian works, yeah.
I work constantly, but I'm not currently at liberty to say what it is. Hopefully in a few weeks there'll be a big announcement, but I have no idea.
Don does Funhouse.
Yeah.
Don works at Funhouse.
That's it.
I see it.
So yeah, Easy Allies was more successful than we thought, so we are able, thankfully, to do this. It's wonderful. It's ridiculous.
Our next question comes from Joseph Caruso. He says, being industry veterans, or at least longtime heavy consumers of games media, it's hard to imagine witnessing E3 2016 in the eyes of a young and quote-unquote casual video game fan. Much of our reactions to this year's E3 are caused by context formed over decades of hype, promises that weren't kept, memes, and pandering, and seeing genres, franchises, and companies come and go. With that in mind, my reaction to the Sony press conference was like a breath of fresh air, and alternatively, my reaction to the EA press conference was hanging my head in shame, particularly due to the awkward celebrity appearances during the Battlefield 1 live stream. Do you think that the practices we saw this year that we're tired of seeing in previous years were conducted by out-of-touch executives and marketing professionals, or are they simply trying to reach a younger market that doesn't share our jaded viewpoints and nuanced critiques?
First one.
I don't think we're jaded.
I think it's the second one.
Oh, I think it's the first one.
I think there's some hotshot 20-year-old ad execs walking in and just like, okay, here's how we do E3. You got to get Jose, the football manager, and we got to get Peter Moore to jibe with him.
Why do you think they want that?
Because they think kids like that.
I think
Exactly, they're going for both.
Peter Moore's showing off, man. Peter Moore can get him on stage, and Peter Moore knows he's hung out with him at a couple of parties, and Peter Moore's like, everybody in Europe's going to be so impressed that I got him on stage and that we're just chatting, and nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's number one. Yeah, I hear you.
Every guy I saw walk on that EA stage thought they were just the hottest shit they have ever seen, and and all three people. I mean, Kojima gets to do that, but Layden and House, when they walked out, I got the vibe that they were like, "You are great. This orchestra is great. What I'm about to show you is going to blow your mind. I don't care about me. I'm just here to facilitate that." Whereas EA was like, "Welcome." I love this. This is my new move now. This is my EA.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I don't.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It's me. Like,
I don't think Electronic Arts cares what anybody that shares our viewpoint thinks. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
we
Not
can
gonna
trash
change.
them all day long.
Not
Like,
gonna
we
move a
got,
muscle.
we got so many comments that are like, actually, the stuff they're talking about with FIFA is really cool, and that just didn't resonate with us at all because we're not interested. And so they're not trying to run the same race that like a Sony or a Microsoft is.
And that's the tricky. Yeah, that's the tricky thing is you have to set up that like we're talking about how they presented it, not what they were talking about. Like all three
Right.
of those Star Wars games look great. Actually, I'm very excited. Like that 1 3-second clip we got of Hennig's game. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm curious to see where this goes. But how the whole thing was handled actually at the show was bad.
Having celebrities play Battlefield was the worst.
That was a 20-something's idea. I swear to you, like 25
That
year olds
was yeah.
with that idea.
That was someone trying to be hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids like Zac Efron. Get him to play Battlefield.
Our next question comes from Rebecca Blackmore. She asks, is there any piece of media that you feel taught you a valuable life lesson growing up? If so, what was it?
Wow.
Whoa.
Piece of media?
So, Metal Gear Solid, I beat it, I guess I was 13 years old, maybe 14. And to me, as a 14-year-old, it was like so deep, the idea of genes, that humans are simply living to push our genes forward.
Mhm.
And it honestly affected how I think of existence and what life is about in a weird way. And it's just all stupid monologues delivered by Liquid Snake, but it really, honestly, like, affected how my philosophies are. It was stupid, I know, but it's for real. 14-year-olds, you know, we're young.
The first season of Game of Thrones fundamentally shifted my opinions on storytelling. I got in a infamous drag-out fight with my wife following it was episode 8. I think it's 8, right? It's 8 of season 1.
9 is the one.
Is it 9? Okay, yeah, 9. There's 8 or 9 is is a very. I didn't see that coming, and I really didn't. And the good guys weren't winning, and I was pissed. And my wife was just kind of like, okay, well, calm down, and yeah, that show, you know, has kind of also shaped my opinion, but specifically it just. Everything just kind of turned on its head and just kind of like, you know, shook me out of this Star Wars, Harry Potter, you know, kind of storytelling where you have, you know, it's like, well, what's the point of teaching something to a character if that character is never going to use that or, you know, show that they learned what you taught? And it's like, why do you care, dude? That happens in life. And you're like, yeah, but you're telling a story, what, you know? So, thank you, George Martin. Now release your 6th book, please.
For me, I think video games wise, Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, so many of them had so many effects, but Shadow of the Colossus for me was like that was the first time where a game where you know you're making the choice, or you're just like you're not thinking about what you're doing, and you're just going through the motions, and then it flips it on its head, and you're like, oh, what? Oh my, you know, like that, I wasn't doing what I thought I was doing, like. That showed me a lot about like what I really like in games and like lore over storytelling and like how your player agency can be used as a weapon against you narratively, kind of. And I don't know, that's just really powerful to me because like I feel guilty about it, and like movies don't make me feel guilty, you know. I think that's a powerful thing.
Final Fantasy IX, and the reason why Princess Garnet is my favorite JRPG character is the game starts and she wants to run away. She doesn't want to be a princess. She doesn't want to deal with that life. She wants to see what else the world has to offer. And so she does. She goes on this adventure with these people that she gets really close to. But as she's gone, the kingdom and the people that she's responsible for get just like absolutely destroyed and devastated, and she kind of has to go through this process of transformation. She has to become an adult, and she has to say, like, wait, it's not just about me. Like, I'm responsible for more things than just myself and having a good time, and like I have to come back and I have to own up to this, and I have to fix this, and I have to make it better. And that spoke to me as a procrastinating high school student who was about to go to university, who was like, well, actually, no. like just running away from it isn't gonna get me a job or a degree or anything, and so I have to come back and I have to own up to this. So, yeah. Our next question. Sorry, Hubert?
No, yeah, go on. Move on. Time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Time.
Okay. Our next comment is from Fastmore. He says, "Hi, allies. I often feel like the relationship between EZA or any similar group or person and the fans can feel like a one-way street. Then sometimes there are those holy moments where it feels like a real human connection occurs, such as gift opening. When do the allies feel the deepest human connection between the fans rather than a nebulous connection to usernames on screen? I'm asking because most people in the world will never experience such phenomena, and I have genuine curiosity about what it's like." It's a good question.
One of my favorite moments is right before a stream. So we'll be setting everything up, and I'll set up all the equipment, and then I'll turn our little chat TV on, and it's that 30 minutes before we go live. You know, like just before we did E3, you know, like having Damiani drop songs in and having everybody be like, "Oh wait, oh I know what that is. That's Ratchet and Clank," or like, "Oh man, that's Shadow of the Colossus," and just seeing everybody get excited for stuff that we do just does me right every time. It makes me feel so happy. And I really feel that's when it really dawns on me that just like I can't believe these people are this excited about what we're about to do. You know, like we better make this really good if they're this tuned in.
For me, it's when people tweet like personal things. So like someone will tweet me a picture of something I love, or like saw this when walking down the street, and it's like something I mentioned, you know, like a week or two prior. So
yeah, that for me too. Like people like the fan art we get for D&D, or like people coming up and saying hello at events, or like playing Overwatch with people from the community. But like the things that really feel the best are the tweets that are like personal, or like those feel like a connection, because like there are people who have said like such amazing things on Twitter that are like affecting, you know, and it's really cool to have that kind of connection with people where like things that I'm doing and that we're doing are like making people happy, and then like giving them strength to be themselves, you know. It's incredible.
For me, one of my favorite chats is Friday night. It's Tetris. It's just me and chat, and chat. We're all doing the same thing right now. We're all doing this. We're all on the same couch together, and chat is so good at running with a joke that I feel like we're joking together. We're creating jokes together and evolving it together, and eventually you have really dumb stuff.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
that's
all we do in person. Yeah, and so that's cool. Chat doesn't just parrot jokes and doesn't just spam memes. We work together to make jokes, and I love that. We're all together. We're all equals in a weird way.
We're all idiots.
Yeah, we're all idiots. We're all dumb idiots.
We're all equally crazy.
Our next question comes from Andy Dogtype Aiken, longtime fan. He says, "Hello everyone. I hope this question."
Player.
Yeah. Yep. Hello everyone. I hope this question isn't too personal, but feel free to skip it if that's the case. I was just wondering if any of you do anything in particular when you're feeling depressed. For me, I will often start up the Sega Genesis and play through my favorite game of all time, Streets of Rage 2.
I sleep and try to watch the most depressing movies of all time. Usually like There Will Be Blood or a Schindler's List, something along those lines. Sounds weird, but
no, I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. When I was a teenager and like they diagnosed me with chronic depression or whatever and put me on all kinds of weird pills that weren't approved for people of my age that wrecked my brain. I would always watch like As Good as It Gets, or Father of the Bride Part 2. That's kind of the other side of that. But like As Good as It Gets, I would watch because I could like commiserate with them. Like when he ever, and I'm like a nihilist basically. So like whenever he would walk out into the little waiting room of the psychiatrist's office and he says the titular line, you know, he just looks at all these sad people and he goes, "What if this is as good as it gets?" And like one woman just gasps. And I always was just, as a kid, I was just like, yeah. Like the pain is comforting. I don't know.
Yeah, it's perspective too.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of conscious breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like just sit in a chair and breathe as human beings anymore. We've kind of like moved past that as a society. We're just like, I have too much to do. And I as I've gotten older, I view life more as a wheel that is constantly spinning, that I'm on, that I'm running. And when I am running and the wheel is running at the same speed, I'm happy because I don't need to get anywhere and I don't feel like I'm being pushed back in any direction. I feel like life and me are moving at the same pace. And when I get anxiety or when I get depressed, it's either because the wheel's not going fast enough. I'm like, God, I really want to be home, or I really want to be at Disneyland, or I really want to be just anywhere but here right now, and the wheel's going too damn slow and I can't go. Or like, Viacom Defy Media game trailer style, where it's like wheels going too fast. No, like it's E3, I got slow down. And I find that a lot of times when I'm depressed, if I'll just like sit in a chair and just breathe, because it's tough. Like we're all so spastic and we're all so quick to talk and to formulate opinions that like it is difficult. I challenge anyone watching this to sit in a chair and not think about something for 60 seconds. I guarantee you'll last about 12 and give up. You'll be like, I think I can do something, and it's like, try it. Like really just don't think about anything. Just really just listen and like really figure out like where's the world right now? What's actually happening with the pace of this planet? And like the more you get in tune with that, the more everything else you'll come out of it and be like, why the hell was I worried about stuff? Like that's ridiculous. I got so caught up in my brain as far as like the way I thought the speed of my life should be going, and it's like maybe just take a moment and actually be aware of the speed at what everything's going, and that'll hopefully calm you down.
Jones, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
That was cool, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you try to think of nothing and you do think of something, note it. Actually, be like, oh, that's funny. I thought of Star Wars. Okay, all right, back to thinking of nothing. It's like don't kick yourself. Be like, oh, I can't do this.
That's
like,
what I was gonna say. Like, don't feel bad, because that's how I got off the anxiety pills when I was a kid, was through breathing and meditation and stuff. And like, don't feel guilty if you do think of things while you're meditating. Just it happened, and you're like, oh, okay. And like the one big huge thing that I found with a therapist a couple years ago is not judging yourself, but just being curious about yourself. Like, like being like a 2-year-old and being like, okay, why? So, like you go, okay, why am I feeling like this? And you go, oh, because I'm afraid of that. And you go, okay, well, why am I afraid of that? And you go, oh, well, because this. And you go, okay, why that? And you just drill down and just be curious about yourself. Drill down as far as you can, and it's miraculous the things you'll come up with.
Yeah, I usually just fiddle around on my guitars or something. That seems to calm me down quite a bit.
Too cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brad's got the blues. He just pulls up his guitar. He just
I think watching Brad Ellis play guitar would pull me out of a depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm getting the venue for. Brad Ellis live in concert.
Secrets.
Our next question comes from Michael. He asks, hey Allies, amazing E3 coverage. What is your favorite episodes of The Simpsons? How tall are each of you? And my most important question goes to Kyle. Which JoJo is your favorite?
You only get one.
Those are fast.
Those are, they're pretty fast.
5'10", the one where Bart and Ralph have the key to the city, and I haven't watched JoJo.
Simpsons, where they go to Shelbyville, and it's like Bizarro Springfield. And height, it's like 6'2".
Whoa, dude.
Treehouse of Horror 4, I think, the one where they do King Kong and Mr. Burns goes, I was walking through the gas one day.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm 5'10" when I stand up straight.
I guess the monorail episode. 5'10", Joseph Joestar.
Go ahead.
5'11" and a half, as close to 6 feet as you can get without being 6 feet, and whatever the one Be My Vest was, or See My Vest, what is it?
Yeah.
Made from real gorilla chest. Such a good number. Or Treehouse of Horror. Any Treehouse of Horror.
Kyle stole my but the monorail one is my favorite as well. I'm 6 feet tall. Yeah.
Okay.
JoJo. Our question is for the next question is for Justin. Question for Kyle, Ben, and any other non-California native. Do you miss the snow?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Every day.
The thing about California is like it's really nice and it's sunny, and you can like pretty much go to the beach whenever you want, but it always feels the same. Everything always feels the same. Like the traffic is always shitty. Like your favorite restaurant is always busy, and like
consistency.
Yeah, it is consistent. It's consistently shitty in a lot of ways. Like I don't know, I miss the ebb and flow of like the seasons in the Midwest because like it would change how I would feel. Like my mood would be different in the summer than it was in the fall than it was in the winter, and just like the changing seasons like affected me. And
seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like because everything's always the same all the time except for like minor variations here and there. I kind of feel like I'm suffocating.
If variety is the spice of life, then Los Angeles is soul death.
Jesus.
Born and raised, baby. But I will say this: I went to school. I went to school in downtown Boston, and the winters in college were some of the happiest times of my life. That just walking down the street to class, feeling like the ice crunch under my feet, gloves and a giant coat, like I do.
I love it so much. Like Chicago, it is like murder. It's the worst place you can possibly imagine for 7 months out of the year, and it's so wonderful. Like,
one of my favorite Boston memories was one of my roommates was like, yeah, then we'd be shoveling. And I laughed from across the room, and he just like looked at me, and he's like, "You don't know what I'm talking about with shoveling." He's like, "You out there in America, you shovel with the little tiny shovels in your garden. You don't know what it's like going on your front yard. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. The parents make you shovel the driveway, and then you get up the next day, and you got to shovel it again." I was like, "Dude, I just snickered, man. I'm sorry."
This is the debut of Jones's Boston voice.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. It's really good, Jones.
I would come back from school and would talk to my friends, and they're like, "I don't know who the hell this is, but I'm going to see you in like 8 days whenever this Jones goes away. I don't know who this Jones is." And I was like, "What?" Like, but apparently I couldn't even hear it. Like I just adapted.
Boston Jones. I love it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Boston Jones.
The other thing about the seasons is like Christmas just feels like it kind of happens here. You know? Like there's no build up. There's no like, oh man, it's
you don't pay for it.
What's up?
You don't pay for it here. Like Christmas is the reward. It's the halfway point through the misery. Like,
yeah,
you earn it. And like summer in the Midwest, you earn it. Like you get to enjoy summer because you paid for it. You survived. Like, here it's just always. And I miss storms a lot.
Yeah, we need rain. I would like some storms.
Thunder. Oh God, and lightning.
Our next question is from Zelko. He asks, "Hello, allies. Time Splitters? ? I really missed that series. It had different time periods with different weapons and environments. Also, Monkey Ninja and multiplayer. It quickly became my go-to for multiplayer FPS as a kid. I thought at first that the new prey was Time Splitters. Haha. Any well in respect." So I think he's just trying to gauge our feelings on Time Splitters.
Yeah, I like Time Splitters 1 and 2.
Time Splitters 2, really sweet.
Yeah, that's the one I remember the most fondly.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things though where it's been gone for so long, and like I don't know who would make it.
How to adapt and everything like that.
Yeah, you couldn't just say like we're making a new Time Splitters and I'd be like, oh sweet, awesome. Like I don't know, I think you would kind of have to.
Yeah, you can't even like have a monkey and say this is going to be funny. We don't think monkeys are funny anymore.
Yeah, that's like Borderlands. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Borderlands thinks that's funny, whereas Overwatch sees like, no, monkeys are people too.
Yeah.
They're scientists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monkeys are smarter than all y'all.
This question is from Todd. He asks, "This is a total Mama Bosman move, but how are the part-timers finding the job search? Hope that is not too personal. Just hoping everyone is doing well on that front."
Okay, I can speak to this one. So we're making a buttload of money right now, but still not, full-time money, basically. But it's enough where I have a good cushion where I can afford to look for the thing that I want to do. And that is what I appreciate more than anything, is having this freedom right now. It's great. It's good. Thanks, Mama Bossman.
I'm technically part-time, but it feels like full-time, so I'm not really looking for another job.
I'm currently creating my destiny and doing the greatest things of my life. So I'm really excited. That seemed weird, but yeah. This is the greatest time to be alive. I'm having a blast.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, like easy A morale is more important to me than how much money we make. That's like the thing I check in on once a month. It's just like, we're good? Okay, oh, all right.
So far, everything is wonderful.
And I love how like Ian was just like Mr. Doom and Gloom over at Viacom and Defy, and like now that we're totally independent and actually like we really gotta like watch our money and everything. Ian's just all smiles. Like Ian's the first person every Tuesday to be like, I love this, guys.
Yeah, you're right.
It's great.
Yeah, you know.
It's all upside down.
You know how it is. I don't like working for other people. Is the real thing. Like I don't like when I'm not, because if I don't own it, I feel like I'm throwing my life away. So
Word.
this is what I love to do, and the other stuff.
Speaking of getting work done, Huber's working on a spreadsheet right now.
Yeah.
Huber's doing his taxes right now.
He's writing his
How'd you know?
review.
Or watching.
Writing his review.
Yeah, I'm actually writing a review.
There you go. Nice.
Our next question comes from Guillermo. He asks, his allies, what is your favorite band or musician? You must pick one. Also, favorite song, must pick one.
Mm.
And you rolled your eyes as you read the phrase "favorite song."
Me?
Yeah.
I did that. Like pick the favorite song is hard. There are a lot of songs out there, man.
I would imagine it would have to be favorite song from that band, right?
No.
No.
No. He separated the two.
Oh, okay.
So wait, sorry, favorite band and favorite song?
Yep.
Yeah.
Van Morrison.
Ooh.
Huber, my respect for you just like definitely went up.
Favorite song is The Interview.
Ooh.
By whom?
AFI.
And the
we're back.
respect.
And we're back.
Yeah.
We've equalized.
Or Sentimental Personal Reasons.
I was just kidding.
No, it's cool. I mean, you like Guns N' Roses, so it's fine.
I do like Guns N' Roses. It's true. Shut up.
Mine is Tom Waits and probably Hoist That Rag or Make It Rain by Tom Waits.
Favorite band? Yeah, Yeah, Yeahs. Favorite song? Let Down by Radiohead.
Ooh, nice.
Mhm.
Oh, that album is so good. I'm a big fan of an obscure, little-known British band called the Beatles, and
Never heard
"Day in the Life" is a song that continues to pop up in my life and remind me of its relevance and why I love that band so much. I've literally been haunted by that song.
Brandon, that is probably my favorite Beatles song. That was an excellent.
It's a good song. It is a
What song? What did you say? I missed
Day,
it.
Day in the
Day
Life.
in the Life.
Oh, okay.
It's an amazing
That is
song.
it is a highly unconventional piece of music.
Favorite band probably is the Beatles for me.
Yeah, Brad.
Favorite song changes all the time. I'll just do a Beatles one. For now, for this Beatles ones, it's Hello Goodbye. My favorite musician probably right now is Alex Turner. He's from Arctic Monkeys and Last Shadow Puppets. He's really influentially on me in music, at least.
Too cool.
Way too cool.
Can never win.
No, I can't win either. My favorite band is
Slipknot?
no. See? I
Black
can't
Black
win.
Mages. Black
I can't
Mages.
win.
Black
I can't
Mages.
win. Nope.
Black Mages.
No, I don't even want to answer.
Def Leppard?
I hate Def
Axl Rose solo album.
Chinese
What am I
Democracy?
doing? I haven't done anything wrong here.
Buckethead?
No. I hate
Right.
Def Leppard. I want that to go on record. I hate Def Leppard.
Grimes?
No. My favorite band is Metallica because they got me into a genre of music I didn't listen to before. They will always like no matter what they do, no matter what shitty decisions they make, like they've made music that has changed my life. So yeah, Metallica, and my favorite song is "Give Me Shelter" by the Rolling Stones.
Give me
Nice.
shelter.
Give me
fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Give me shelter.
Yeah.
Dude, "Give Me Shelter" is an incredibly amazing song. I
agree.
Rolling Stones.
No, it is like an emotional song. You can make fun of me, but don't make fun of "Give Me Shelter."
No, I'm not making fun of that. I'm making
I'm
fun
just
of...
making fun of Metallica.
What do I do to
Renee.
deserve this? What do I do? I just answered
More.
more.
Huber, have you ever heard S&M, Symphony of Metallica?
Oh.
You got to go get that. That's one of my favorite albums that's ever been produced. It's a full symphony with a artist, the guy who's no longer with us, actually, a film composer that just called up Metallica one.
Yeah.
Enrico Morricone?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't think
Did he die?
Oh no, maybe you're. Well,
It was
sorry,
not
I'm getting
Morricone,
confused because they cover Ecstasy of Gold before every live show.
Nice.
From. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just called up Metallica and was like, "Hey, let's do this." And Metallica's like, "Sure." And he wrote like a whole orchestral suite to like multiple Metallica songs. And it's like to date, it's like I feel bad because when I hear the originals, I'm like, oh, I'm dying for that Symphony and Metallica version.
It's all right. Huber likes to trash on things that he doesn't have any knowledge about, so you just get used to it.
No, just normal Metallica, not some other one, not some maestro.
We're talking
Making
base
the music
Metallica
Dude,
original members.
it's all part
No
of it, man.
third-party shenanigans.
Yeah.
Go. You're telling me Master of Puppets is a bad album?
Michael Kamen.
Tell me
No, I'm
Master.
not telling you anything.
Michael Kamen.
I'm not telling you anything, man.
I just like making fun of how he sings.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. This question is from Ben. We've answered this one before, so we'll probably go through it really quickly. Tabletop Escapades is as good as ever, but are you planning on returning to Fiasco or mixing in any other games / people in the near future? People, probably not for right now. Not that it's not something we won't do in the future, but like something that really bummed me out about Tabletop Escapades or Tabletop Adventures is like we would take weeks at a time. We'd take a break, so we would do like 2 Fiasco episodes, and we wouldn't do any tabletop in that time. And like I kind of want to keep the story rolling. I feel like we're really getting into a flow, and you know it's a little bit different than it was at Game Trailers, where it was something we did on the side. Now like people are directly supporting tabletop, so like I want to give them what they want, and I think we definitely want to do Fiasco, but I don't want that to come at the expense of tabletop.
Yeah,
and we're all really
I wanna-
stretched for time.
I want to just do a Fiasco, like, sometimes, like, with whoever. Like,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to start a Fiasco show for a long time.
Ian, I want to play your card game.
Yeah,
So
Ian has a
works.
card game.
Yeah, I'm working on a card game secretly.
Yeah, that was not a public thing, I think.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, there'll be a Kickstarter in a few months, maybe. It's good. It's not really like a story game.
I can't wait to go to that sushi restaurant you're building, Ian. That thing's gonna be
Yeah, I'm
sweet.
building a sushi
Yeah.
restaurant. Oh, but actual announcement. My RPG is basically finished, and I want us to do a stream like we did before. It's probably not on group stream night, just so it's not about that. But like maybe after the 6th, when I get back from vacation, we should do like a stream, and I'll launch it that night. You know?
Yeah, make a trailer for it too.
Oh my God, that's a really fun idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to get to the point where like we're going to do one of these Q&A sessions, and you're going to be like, yeah, so check out my upcoming feature film from Paramount Pictures.
Thanks.
You joke, Ben.
I did
Yeah,
a
thanks.
thing, whatever. I made a
Get
movie.
your tickets on Fandango.com.
Yeah. Well, you know, I might have something like that soon. Hopefully. But-
Nominated for
See,
an Oscar,
that's what I'm talking
whatever.
about. Yeah, you're like, oh, please watch the Academy Awards where I'll be nominated.
Yeah, please be excited. The Emmys coming up.
I might be there.
Our next question comes from Rory, Ruwari, in fact. When it comes to my favorite movie, game, anime, TV show, etc., I consider things that I can play / watch multiple times without ever getting bored. You know, my favorite in a medium. Are you the same way? What are some things you can watch / play / read over and over without getting bored?
Resident Evil 2.
I could play Super Mario World forever.
Aliens. There's never a bad time.
Princess Bride. It's never bad.
Cowboy Bebop. We'll never get sick of that.
Forensic Files.
Forensic
Oh my
Files.
God, Forensic Files. Yeah, that's a different kind of thing, though.
Yeah.
Hubert and I, that time when we were at, was that GDC or PAX?
PSX.
When we were,
PSX.
we were both sick, and we were in the hotel room for like 8 hours just watching Forensic Files, and we watched it so long in a row that they started repeating episodes, and we just watched them again.
Trying to pick up the little details. I remember us binging some Star Trek: The Next Generation at
Oh,
PAX,
yes.
and TNG
Yes,
is
that is
also.
best.
TNG's good for about 6-7 hours straight.
Yeah.
Nicholas asked, "Hi allies, if you could make one major change to E3, what would it be and why?" We kind of, unfortunately, we kind of already answered this. Yeah.
Because someone nailed it. I can't remember who it was.
Ben More Fast
That's the Fast Pass. Yeah, Ben More Fast Pass.
Yeah.
It's going to be called Play More.
But spelled like Ben More.
And you get a Fast Pass.
Like SNK.
But you have to listen to Guns N' Roses while you.
Yes.
Get it.
Rides.
The more DNR you listen to, the more Fast Passes you get.
E3 needs rides.
Yeah.
You know what you
But,
need?
like,
Huber, you know what you need E3? Just a little patience. Yeah. Okay.
See, he's not familiar enough with the band to get that right.
Got it. Okay.
I want a Miyamoto signing. I want to get a Miyamoto autograph, I think.
No, you don't.
That's what's wrong with E3?
No, I don't. Our next question is from Dale. What is your favorite? What is your dream Easy What is your dream Easy Allies collaboration? For example, Giant Bomb, Kind of Funny, IGN (Huber) for some reason, etc.
We don't need anybody.
Whoa.
Obviously,
That's an answer.
kind of funny and stuff. But I want to do something with 8-4 play. I really like those guys. I know Ben's probably into that too.
I introduced you to 8-4.
Yeah, that's one.
Up, up, down, down.
That's a good one.
I think that doing something with Vati Vidya would be fun. And
What are we going to give them lore on?
especially like a Damiani like Game Sleuth Vati Vidya like crossover. That would be insane. The production value would be through the roof.
I want to do a collaboration with Mistwalker.
Okay.
And
Or
just
have some here?
yeah, just like we do special coverage on some sick new Sakaguchi JRPG that is reminiscent of classic Final Fantasy.
On mobile.
No. We're out if it's on mobile.
Okay.
That's our stipulation.
I would like Easy Allies to be the sole provider of any and all advertising for Red Dead 3.
Oh.
All pieces of media only available on youtube.com/easyallies. That or I want to buy the Playboy Mansion and do content with Gamer Next Door and move Easy Allies operations to the Playboy Mansion.
No. Hugh Hefner still lives there, Jones.
He doesn't. He's selling it.
He's selling it with him. You buy the mansion and he still lives there.
But we can still stream from like the game room, like while he's just up and
we can like
drinking his smoothies up in the bedroom, like
I don't want to live with him. I don't want to
just
live
kinda-
with him.
that's
You wouldn't want
weird.
Hugh to just kind of wander in.
Die soon.
Hey, guys.
So I'm super uncomfortable with
I got my
that.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Want some scrambled eggs, everybody? Like, no, Hugh. No, Hugh.
I'd love to collab with Black Eyed Peas.
Okay, next.
Next question. This is from Hasni, who I have to just give a special shout out. Does incredible work everywhere, but especially in our NeoGAF thread. He set that whole thing up and he keeps updating it, and he's like always responding to people answering questions in our stead, and so he's a pretty amazing dude. His question is, so who's learning how to edit videos to help out old Brandon Jones when the backlog is stacked? Is it you?
That's a pointed question, huh?
Is
That is
it
a point
you,
question.
Michael Huber?
Seriously.
Is it you?
It should be all of you.
Well, yeah. I mean, plenty of that is on me. I need to specifically Ben and Huber. I would like to head over to your place, load up an old episode that has already been done, so it's not like we gotta get this done because we're late, but like get a project file before the episode was cut and just kind of do a dummy cut of one of your shows and go through all that stuff. That is a goal for this summer for me to instruct Huber and Ben in the ways, because I think even if you guys cut one of your own episodes and it was janky as hell, I think people would still love that, knowing that you produced it yourselves, knowing that you're like, I shot this, I cut it, this is all me, no one else was involved in this. I think people get a real kick out of that, and I think it's a logical way for Easy A to grow.
I had a really good time cutting the betting special. If we can throw more like specials to me, like one-offs, I'm totally on board. Those are fun to do.
Sure.
I would love to learn editing from you, Brandon Jones. In fact, it would be an honor. I'm just going to be in Japan, so like I don't know how.
Right. Yeah. There's that issue. That's true.
Solve that.
Time-wise,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Adobe stuff doesn't work over there.
Yeah.
That's true.
Just Nico. All right, so our next question is from...
Edit on Nico.
Yep.
I gotta get these W's out of the way. Oh man.
Our next question is from Tuttle. He asks, allies, with the hurried pace to get Easy A established, you still managed to hit a home run with the podcast theme music. I agree. Can you give us some background on how that came to be? You've all been crushing it. For that, I thank you. Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, so Phantom NK is... shoot, I guess I knew about Phantom NK from the end of Hey Ash episodes. It would be like this theme made by Phantom NK. And also Keith Apicary stuff. Nathan Barnett does stuff with them that I really dug, like the Dreamcast 2 song. And so Phantom NK would show up in chat sometimes when we were streaming. And I was like, oh, Phantom NK knows us. So when it came time for Easy Allies assembling, I just messaged him on Twitter and said, what do you cost? And then we bought a song from Phantom NK.
Hell of a song.
Yeah, he actually sent over 5.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this one. And then he was like, I don't know, let me work on it, and made it longer and added some really cool stuff to it, like the Donkey Kong Country style that it goes into at one point. Everything. And yeah, way worth it. Phantom NK at Fantomenk on Twitter.
That song makes me so happy.
Yeah,
Love it.
very, very cool song.
Our next question comes from Arkham Fantasy, another longtime fan. He says, hello, allies. With the recent closures of Evolution and Lionhead, do you believe that first-party studios are becoming less and less significant in the console race? No.
No. Not at all. Look at Sony and Nintendo.
And I think you could look at Microsoft. I know they shut down those two, but they made a studio dedicated to Halo, and they made a studio dedicated to Gears of War, which is insane. It's like, this is the only game you will make. But I think that speaks to their dedication to first-party games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the way things go, right? Like, studios are going to get shut down. I don't necessarily think that is indicative of a larger problem, like Kyle mentioned.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anyone else for that, or are we moving on?
90 more to go.
I like the biz questions, though. That's fun.
I do. I like them, too. I'm always worried. Sometimes I feel like we get thrown things that people think we're qualified for, but we're totally not qualified for.
Oh, yeah, I'm not qualified to answer
through it.
Yeah.
And that gives me anxiety.
Brad's got it.
I got it.
Too cool.
Too cool.
Our next question comes from Michael. He says, hey guys, love the E3 coverage. I honestly think the way that it was handled was great, with everyone going to the actual show floor. Here's to 45K. One more thing. Do you think we could get another opinion yell? One of the funniest things GT has ever done.
We need a green screen.
Yeah.
We could probably set that up here.
And
Well.
Jones's neighbors tolerate the shoot. Like, no problem.
We need a good subject to yell about.
Yeah, the best ones the
the
best ones work when we
Link to the past.
actually had an
That's just
argument.
everyone yelling at Kyle, though.
Yeah,
That's a great episode.
Which one?
Link
The
to the
Link
past.
to the past. Everyone just yelling at Kyle.
But yeah, Bloodborne vs. Witcher was good because there was like some real actual
Anger behind it.
Animosity.
yeah. That was good.
But yeah, we should do another one.
We've been too cheerful so far in ETA.
Yeah, we're very
We're
happy.
too agreeable. Yeah, our moods are too positive.
Our next question comes from Michael Kazachenko.
Yeah.
supporter of the
Ding,
site.
ding, 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 ding.
Thank you so much. He asks, at the old site you did a video called Top 10 Most Divisive Games. I'd love to see an expansion of this into a stream. Excuse me.
Woo!
Such as
Is
Kyle
that
playing...
sneeze in the question?
No. That was an edit from the editor. As Kyle playing Bioshock, is this something you'd be interested in doing? Also, Kyle, you could not be more wrong about Bioshock, but what can I expect from someone who eats pizza butt first? That was not me. That was all him.
So I don't understand what eating it butt last is somehow better. You just put a butt on pizza, Michael.
I think he means so you can hold it easier.
Yeah, I
crust.
know what he meant. But don't call
How do
any
you-
part of the
wait,
pizza the
You
butt.
eat the crust first? How do you hold it after you eat the crust?
With my finger.
Like a savage.
Look at these things.
Do you
I just
fold it over so you don't get
Those
cheese and
gross fingers.
stuff all over your fingers?
No, I just don't get cheese on it. I can hold a piece of food. We had a really good week last week when we did the live awards for E3. I want to do much more stuff. So yeah, Michael, I really like that suggestion as a thing to do live. some sort of top 10 arguments, and we just cut it off and move to the next one. I'm totally on board for doing more stuff like that with our group streams.
My one stipulation with that is I see a lot of sites that do lists every single week, and it gets to a point where they're doing like, top 10 index fingers in video games, and I fucking hate it, and so I don't ever want us to like be like monkeys on a wheel that we feel like we have to come up with this stuff all the time. Where like the E3 thing, we were all super passionate about it. The games that fucked us list that we did, or the Christmas stories, I think we all had something really valuable to bring to the table. And so if we're gonna do it, I want to do stuff like that. I really want to stay away from like the cliche stuff, like the top 10 Super Nintendo games or whatever. Like as fun as that is, like come on, you know what's on there.
Ben, we don't have to do any of that stuff anymore. We can do exactly what we want now. We don't have to do a countdown every week.
I'm just drawing a line in the sand. That's all.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from John McClain. He asks...
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
You guys will have to help me with this question. I only have 0.5 teraflops, so my question loaded only for 4%. When it will fully loaded, I will ask. For now, thank you, Easy A.
I think that's a joke about Project Scorpio.
And Technobabble.
Okay.
Technobabble. I love that guy.
Thank you, John McClain.
Technobabble.
So I was on the subject of teraflops. I was told it was wrong of us to make fun of it.
To make fun of teraflops?
Teraflops are apparently serious business.
With emotions?
No, like, you shouldn't make fun of teraflops. Actually, like, if you think about it, it's really the only way to measure graphics. So it's, like, fine.
We'll make fun of everything.
Yeah.
But not making fun of the flops themselves. We're making fun of someone on stage saying teraflops.
6 teraflops.
Oh my God, Brad!
Yeah. You're not hiding.
I need that gift,
teraflops.
dude. The way you flapped your lips. Oh my God.
Next.
Our next question is from Caesar. He says, Hola.
Hola.
Yes, this question is as random as it gets, but I think that's part of the purpose of this forum, right? So this is a little bit of a long one. We're going to have to buckle in here. I apologize for the long backstory to follow. I just want to set the mood. The date is June 17th, 2002. The event is the World Cup Soccer in South Korea, Japan. The group phase was over. 16 teams were flying home already, and 8 more would be leaving soon. The match is Mexico versus USA in the round of 16. It was a highly anticipated game for Mexico's team for 2 reasons. USA is a natural rival for us. Every one of their matches is full of controversy and anticipation. El Tri, Mexico's team, had never got further than the round 16 in a World Cup. This is a perfect opportunity for El Tri to transcend that barrier. USA is a good rival, but not one as complicated as, say, Brazil, Argentina, Germany, or Italy, the usual contenders to win the Cup. We had a winnable game in our hands, so we thought USA won with a score of 2-0, a defeat that still hurts to us Mexicans. I'm not that big of a soccer fan, and I still remember how matchless disappointed I was with that loss. I have always wondered if the USA population is aware of that feat of your national team. So my question to you guys is, does any of that story ring any bells to any of you? I'm sorry.
We broke your heart, and we don't even care. We hurt your feelings. We don't care about that sport.
I remember that.
You wanted to be on that grand stage, and it means nothing to us.
That's so bad.
But no, we don't know anything.
No, we don't know.
When Game Trailers was formed in 2002, at the time I was living with 3 roommates, one of whom was way into the World Cup and would get us up at 4 in the morning, like just would go rattling pots and pans, like, come on! We're like, all right, and we all like drag ourselves out of bed and
Oh my
watch the
God,
World Cup.
I would not tolerate
Yeah.
that.
And so I don't know if I remember specifically the Mexico match, but I remember us doing better that year than we either had ever done or way better than people had been expecting. So. But that said, no regrets, man. I mean, all's fair in love and football.
Ooh, you even said football.
Yeah, I corrected myself.
Football.
Because I'm speaking to an international person, so I was speaking to an American, I would say soccer.
Our next question is from David. He asks, hey, allies, what kind of music are you more interested in seeing in more games? I wish there was more hip...
Sorry.
I wish there was more hip hop. I can't tell if that was facetious or not because I'm reading the question. I wish there was more hip hop in games besides the gangster rap in GTA and Jeff Dam. I would love a game based on Samurai Champloo with the music playing as you explore the world. I'm also looking forward to the funky jazz in Persona 5, but I still love the epic orchestrated soundtracks, and I'm so excited for Final Fantasy 15. So what music do we want to see more of in games?
I want to see more popular music in Final Fantasy 15. You know, I think like the trend of like writing music that like fits the world is kind of like we're kind of past that era in 15. I want like bands from our world to kind of ride the tone of this fantasy world. That's what I'd like to see.
Is this real, Jones?
He's joking.
Yeah, he's just upset.
Wait, who got into 15?
That trailer was like AFI or something.
No, it's
Afrojack.
Oh, doing
there's
the
Afrojack, but there's also the Stand By Me. There's what's her name?
Well, that was a song recorded by Florence and the Machine for the game. It wasn't like a popular track inserted into it.
So
Florence
and the Machine made a song for Final Fantasy 15?
She did a cover of it.
Dude, Kyle, where's it?
Jones, no cynicism, man. That rules.
It's actually really good. It's actually
a good cover. Yeah, I like the cover.
Really good. Yeah.
Oh man.
So check it out.
My answer would be more about implementation. So I really like the way that I forget the Borderlands, the story. What is it called? Borderlands Story Edition. Borderlands
Tales
from the Borderlands mode. Yeah. So when those chapters start, there's really good implementation of licensed music, and even in the credits as well. And I always like that. I like Metal Gear Solid 5's use of licensed music, and so movies use it really well. I'd like to see video games continue to try it.
You know, in Super Mario World, where when you're riding Yoshi, it plays bongos in the track?
Heck yeah.
Just more of that. That's it.
I love
that.
I love in games when a thing you're doing slightly changes the music that's normally playing. You know, like they have the bongo track just like playing under the track, and then you get on Yoshi and it like surfaces. And also, this is kind of like what Bossman was saying, but Snake Eater did it with a song that the game itself made you feel like you knew from the real world with its theme song. And then when you're climbing the ladder and it just kind of pipes in like in the distance for a second, oh my god, so good.
Yeah,
I actually think
Ian, things like changing. Like Quantum Break does some really cool things when you go in slow motion. The music like bends and it's awesome.
Neat.
I think it'd be okay with Snake Eater just like showing up in something else completely unrelated.
God.
At a dramatic moment. Okay. Our next question comes from Ali. He asks, Hi, Alice. Love the E3 coverage. Thanks a lot. I remember once Kyle said in an old episode of The Final Bossman that it was a bad decision when the Kind of Funny guys left IGN. Now that you were all forced...
Hold on, no.
Let me finish the question, and then you can go. Let me just finish the question. Now that you were all forced to take almost the same route, did your opinion change, and how much did Bossman change since his debut of the Persona PS4?
Go watch that episode again. Go watch that episode of Final Bossman again and tell me I said it was a bad idea for them to leave IGN. That one, you know what? You ticked me off. You ticked me right off. I called it a smooth move. I said that was a good move. I said that their name is stupid, and I stand by it.
The name is weird.
Yeah.
Man, that was blown so out of context, Kyle. Holy shit.
Just like everything else on the internet.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Just like my enjoyment of Guns N' Roses occasionally.
Well, it is pretty insane.
Just occasionally. On occasion, he'll enjoy Guns N' Roses.
On occasion.
It's four reactions like that.
I know. The next question is from Ian. He asks, Hi, Alice. I'm curious to know about your taste in character design. Do each of you have a favorite character design that you find super memorable, cool, or exciting? For me, Faith, Mirror's Edge, Mega Man Legends, and I guess Persona 3 are all top tier. And I'll be honest, I really love Lightning's design too. So do I, actually.
Yeah, she has a great design.
So we can do this a couple of ways, like name just characters you really love that from their character design standpoint, or just a character designer that you really love.
Ooh. All right, this
Adam
one just
Jensen.
popped to me. Adam Jensen, really?
Yeah, with like his trench coat and his like
The
metal
shades.
arms. He looks
Sure.
super cool.
For the one that popped into my mind right now at this moment was virtual lawn characters.
Kyle Bossman, I love
That's really
you.
good character. I feel like that is a really good example of character design. I really like those fighting game characters.
I really love Zelda characters, the way they're designed. Love a lot of the Souls characters like Artorias.
The Soul series has some of the best characters, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's it for now.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2, that woman with that pointed hat who's looking for her brother. Lucatile, yeah. And then, like, in Dark Souls 3, Aldrich of the Deep, which is the lore behind that is so cool. Like, that boss fight, that thing looks amazing. The Bloodborne character design is really good. I like Mercy. I like the Overwatch character design. It's pretty good, mostly. Yeah, I really like sprite art too, so like I still think that a lot of the character designs in Symphony of the Night are just like top tier.
This is not my favorite or anything, so that's kind of defeating the purpose of the question, but one that I've really liked recently is Suzuhiro Yasuda. He did Devil Survivor and he did Digimon Cyber Sleuth. I really love that art.
Yeah.
A lot.
I love the creature design in Resident Evil as well. Like the Lickers, the Tyrant, the Hunters, the dogs, so many of the bosses. Like Resident Evil creature design is always just wonderful.
I was actually, Birkin transforming was one of the first things that came to mind. Like, you see him and he keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and like
growing arms out of his ribs.
Yeah. I remember laughing out loud the first time I saw a trailer for Wind Waker and being like, what? Like, that's the dumbest looking Link I've ever seen in my entire life. And then I played Wind Waker and was like, this is my favorite Link. Oh my god. Like, this is so expressive. I remember when Link would shimmy across a really thin walkway, and if you just move the left stick to the left and the right, his eyes would move to the left and right, and like his eyes would move around a lot. He would notice like, oh, there's a thing over there, like, oh, there's an enemy. And like I've never done a full 180 on a character like that.
Also, quick shout out to Fumito Ueda.
Yeah, good
call.
All
his games are insane.
Did Wind Waker come out after Twilight Princess?
No,
before. Yeah, okay.
Casual scum. All right, our next question comes.
I was about to say that.
From the Banana Forklift Killer. He asks, "Hey guys, I want to know everyone's future holiday destinations and why. Wow. Also, would the whole crew consider doing a group trip sometime in the future?"
Tokyo.
I actually just 2 days ago bought tickets for Beth and I to go to New Orleans.
Nice.
I had like a voucher from American Airlines, so we got two tickets, a round trip to New Orleans for $140.
Nice.
Score.
I'm going to Evo next month for the first time, and I basically consider that a holiday destination. So.
Yeah, sweet, dude.
That's awesome.
I'm going to Montana. I'm going camping.
Dude, that sounds awesome. I love camping.
Yeah.
Sick.
Are you going by yourself?
No, with my old high school buddies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds intimate, Kyle.
My old high school buddies.
Sounds rad.
High school buddies. Going to Montana.
Woo! Our next question comes from Alec Church. He asks, "Hi, allies. Tall Guy Alec here. How are you individually adjusting to the creative freedom that comes with being free of your corporate shackles? Are there any new ambitions you can now fulfill?" That's a heavy question.
I got to do my Miyamoto episode. I got to like totally make fun of Shigeru Miyamoto and like not feel bad about it. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I have like a few ideas I might do down the line, just as like one-off things. But I wouldn't.
Brad, tease them, Brad. Here we go. Exclusive.
Okay, they'll probably be more about retro games than current stuff.
All right.
I love every second of this. Like, we get to do whatever we want, and it's incredible.
Yeah, I think Ian's show shows at the best.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing is not necessarily what I can do now, but what I don't have to do. I think the countdown was the biggest release ever. Like, that was a major stress that hung on my shoulders every week. Like, oh shit, countdown. Oh god, what are we doing? And like a lot of those were thrown together at the last minute. I did not feel good about them. We put up some countdowns I was straight up embarrassed of. Just like this, whether like the list, because the list was always great. The list I was always confident with, but it was just like I don't feel like we're representing these games the way they should be represented. It's just like number 6, that game, moving on, you know. And it's like it was not a video that we could have done the way we should have done it. So I was happy. I was like, let's just not do that anymore. Let's not beat ourselves up over that. Let's do that on live streams.
Yeah.
We'll argue then.
Yeah.
I think I love being able to take more time to like care about things that I couldn't take time to care about properly before. Like tabletop is a good example of that, because it was like this thing that we had to do as like this side project. I didn't really have time to develop a world or a story or like really care about what was happening moment to moment the way that I've been able to with tabletop escapades, and like being able to treat it like a real special darling has been nice. Also with reviews, I feel like we can give reviews like a little bit more loving care than we did before, which is cool.
Everything about this is wonderful.
All the things.
Our next question comes from Rick and Robo. Love Rick and Robo. Yes, you wake up one morning to a loud thud in your abode.
Ooh.
You investigate and discover all 7 Dragon Balls sitting in your kitchen. However, these are no ordinary Dragon Balls. For some reason, they only work within the realm of gaming. You summon Shenron's 16-bit brother, Kevon, and are granted one single wish that relates to gaming. What do you do? Resurrect Silent Hill? Play Persona 5 in English right now? Thanks.
Oh, man.
I don't understand why the balls showed up together in my apartment.
Context, please.
Yeah,
Someone
Rick.
dropped them there, Kyle.
Someone
broke in to your house, set them on the ground for you, and then left.
Okay, so it's a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. From Rickham.
Yeah.
Rickham collected the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I can't handle this responsibility. I'm going to give it to Kyle.
I got a crazy one.
Yeah.
I'm going back in time, and I am stalling the man who killed Gunpei Yokoi with his car from leaving his house when he did.
Jones. Dude.
Therefore, saving the life of Gunpei Yokoi, the creator of Metroid and the Game Boy, to see what
And
the hell
Virtual
else
Boy.
that guy was gonna do. You know, what was next? He made the Virtual Boy and was shunned from Nintendo. Nintendo, it didn't fire him, but was basically like, you have disrespected yourself, get the hell out. And he was like, all right. And so he left and died months later.
No, he made the Wonder Swan.
Made Wonder Swan? Okay, and then just like a complete freak car accident. Got hit by a car, then got out of the car to talk to the driver that he hit, and then another car hit him while he was on the road. And we lost who knows what, you know, so yeah. That's what I would do. Not to bring it
That'll
down.
make any other response feel callous.
You're damn right.
Mine was going to be,
bastards.
I don't know if this is cheating, but mine was going to be, I would want the ability to create any video game that I've, like, because I make little games on the side, I'd like just the ability to actually make the games I think of.
I like that.
You know?
I would prevent the Final Fantasy spirits within from ever happening, and I would make it so Hironobu Sakaguchi was still at Square leading like the Final Fantasy charge.
I would do one better than Jones. I would go back to Gunpei Yokoi's office as he's working on Virtual Boy and explains what happened to him. So not only does he still get to live, but he also doesn't have to make the Virtual Boy.
Better. I like it.
Nice.
You'd have to learn Japanese first.
I can draw some diagrams.
Okay, I'm sure he'll listen to you too.
Anyone got anything else?
Nothing.
I'll tell you what we got. We got 7 minutes.
I
Yeah.
wish
to get
something
through
came
40
out that
questions.
explained what happened in The Last Guardian, so I can have the full scoop on that entire game.
I think you'll have it after it's out, Brad. I think we'll get that.
I need it.
Over Konami? You wouldn't want that autobiography? That'd be sweet.
Fuck Konami.
So the feedback that I got from the last Q&A that I thought was actually super helpful is people would rather have us do less questions and give the ones that we do answer like more. We put more effort into them rather than speeding through questions. So that's how we're going to do this. We're not going to do a speed round. We're just going to do it naturally. So our next question comes from Brian. He asks, "Hello, allies. Are there any games from your youth that you feel have greatly informed your taste in regards to aesthetic, music, etc., in games and other types of media? For me, it was the original Streets of Rage. It was huge. Yep. Ended up falling in love with the neon cyberpunk aesthetic and got way into synthwave, techno, whatever. Some of the soft spots for other games about walking forward and punching, such as Knack, Who Will Rise Again." Well, okay. Love and respect.
Kirby on NES. Weird answer, but I had that while other people had Super Nintendos, and it holds up. I really like the aesthetic. I like that it's goofy and still a cool, sweet game where you kill things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That did, I think, work into my sensibilities moving forward. I still love goofy, stupid things. Still love Kirby.
I think for me it was Symphony of the Night, Suikoden, and Final Fantasy Tactics, like all those kind of like sprite art games, like really high art in my opinion. I just love that.
Phantasy Star 2, like, that game told me that music can do so much for a mood and atmosphere, and like to this day, when I hear that town music in Phantasy Star 2, like it conjures up these emotions, these nostalgic feelings in a way that like before I didn't, with like Mario and Mega Man and stuff, even though the music in those games is incredible, it didn't click with me how important music was in games, and like I think Phantasy Star 2 was the one that made me pay attention, and then Streets of Rage, which also has an unbelievable soundtrack. So
for me, it's probably The Legend of Zelda. Just the game itself explaining how much bigger than games could be than what I thought they originally were. Like when we were kids, just thinking like you go right in video games, but when I played Zelda, it was like a whole new brand world with like mysteries and exploring. Like I played that game for months. I don't know, it just changed the way I looked at games forever, pretty much.
Shenmue taught me how to be empathetic towards wireframe video game characters. It was just the first like truly emotional video game I ever played.
Cool.
Where it felt like real life.
Huber, I'm sorry to do this, but I really thought you were going to end that with Shenmue taught me how to be empathetic toward like other human beings.
Well, yeah,
Shenmue,
of course.
You were like this cruel, callous person that was like this giant bully, and then Shenmue gave you a heart.
The opera scene in Final Fantasy VI was the next level. A lot of people say like, oh, that raises that to the next level. I was shouting out loud when I saw that for the first time. Like, what am I looking at right now? What? Like, you get to, and it sounds so silly. Like, you get to pick the lyrics of things you're singing, but like that didn't seem fun. That seemed like something that a game developer would be like, that's stupid. Why would you put that in a game? And I'm like, this is not stupid. This is amazing. Like I do theater. Like that is tough to memorize lines, and like now this character in this game who I'm leveling up and choosing what weapons she uses is like struggling to remember dialogue on stage. Like that tripped me up.
And you fight Ultros all while it's happening.
Oh yeah, Ultros whooped me first time.
Our next question comes from Brennan. Or no, I'm sorry, I skipped one. It comes from Captain Fancy Pants. He asks, "Heyo, allies, PAX Prime is just around the corner and the dust has finally settled with the ticket rush. Was anyone able to snag tickets from the buybots and scalpers? For those that are going, are you thinking about a meetup? Love and respect from your friend in the Great White North, Captain Fancy Pants."
We should go.
Is that going?
I think the maximum, realistically, the max we could probably send from EZA would be 3 people. 2 sounds like a nice cozy number, like somebody who can probably do camera, or somebody who, you know, like Ian or somebody who has his own show, or Huber who would like be able to produce an episode of their show at the event. And then someone like myself or Blood or Damiani who could like handle a bunch of appointments and run around and meet up with people, grease some palms. But yeah, meetup makes sense. What actually might make sense kind of last minute in our first year of operation would be to maybe like piggyback on a Screw Attack or a Kind of Funny for a meetup. Like they got the venue, and so like, hey, we'll just let you guys know we're going to be there. Like they're going to throw a much bigger party than we could have, so let's just meet up there. But Seattle's a good place for that because there's a lot of great open like bar club areas right there, like blocks from the convention center. So PAX is a good place to do that. Yes, we need to do more of that in the future.
Eel on the whales of the other outlets. So hot in here.
All right.
We gotta get Brandon. I feel bad. You mentioned his name. We have to end with crunch.
It's Brendan.
Well, I thought we could do 3 more questions. How does that sound, everybody?
So sure. Game.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Jazz.
The final 3.
Jazz.
No jazz.
Hey, allies! At the age of 3, I would hide behind my dad. This is from Brennan, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I would hide behind my dad watching him play Super Metroid. The game would give me nightmares. The very offsetting, eerie music before bosses, and the bosses themselves didn't help, especially Crocomire, where after shooting him into lava, he resurfaces and his skin is melting off. Oh, I love this. He's screaming in sheer panic, fear, and pain, and becomes reduced to nothing more than bones. That stay there as a memento. Allies, I humbly ask you, were there any games you experienced at a young age that scared you, the ever-living crap out of you?
Clock Tower.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That game does not hold up. You play that game now and you will laugh at me for being scared. But that game scared the piss out of me. That was the first game I played that was on par with a horror film. I was playing that with my brother and my girlfriend, I think, and they were just watching me play, and we screamed at that game at the same volume and intensity that we would a film that we were scared of. Clock Tower.
Go ahead, dude.
My video game handle is Enemy Zero, and that's an old Saturn game.
Mm-hmm.
And it just scared the crap out of me. It's just constant tension with like freako monsters. So Enemy Zero is like the beginning of me being scared.
A game that freaked me out when I was probably 2 or 3 when I would play it, it's not scary at all, but it freaked me out, was the original Castlevania. Something about just creeping through the castle and all the monsters, and I'd be sitting there with my blanket on while I'm playing it, like, oh man, so tense.
No, it's weird. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to, Hubert, I don't, maybe you already know this, but if you didn't, it's a really cool factoid about Enemy Zero. Fumito Ueda worked as an animator on that game.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And it's like similar to D and stuff, like
Yep.
same, character. Yeah.
I got a weird pick. It's Mortal Kombat, which isn't scary, but it totally had a way different vibe when I was a kid. I thought it was so serious, especially Mortal Kombat 3. Gave me the heebie-jeebies in a way that's just like, this game is mature. Only adults can play this. So that was mine.
Mine was, it's weird because I played so many survival horror games when I was a kid and they never bothered me at all. Like Silent Hill was my jam and it never made me scared. Now I'm too scared to play most stuff, but The Seventh Guest really got me when I was a kid. Like there were parts of it where I was just like, ah! Which is funny because it looks so like crappy now, but I love that game.
When I was a kid, I loved Resident Evil 1 with all my heart. I thought it was an amazing game. But for about 8 years, I would look in the strategy guide, see where you encounter the first giant tarantula, which to this day I think that game still has the worst spiders of any game ever made.
Resident Evil Remake.
I would get to that point, like I would just keep playing the game over and over again to exactly that point, that door, and I would stop and I would shut it off and I would move on to something else. And I couldn't. It wasn't until high school I made a friend sit down with me, and we had to beat it together because I couldn't do it alone by myself.
Cool.
I played so much Resident Evil that the Capcom logo, the scared me. Like that, like it was like Pavlov's dog. Like every time I would hear that, it would be synonymous with horror. I'd be like, oh, I'm about to be scared. And it's like this old cheerful, crystal-laden theme.
Is Ian back yet? Because this question is specifically for Ian.
Save
You
it.
exposed the lounging Omar. I feel really bad. We see Omar.
Omar.
I hope Omar is watching Powers back there.
He's not. No one's watching it.
This next question is from Ahab. We'll come back to the Ian question in just a second. He says, congratulations on your amazing E3 coverage and everything you've done up to this point. Question, do you know the fate of Don's Discount Gaming? Each episode is better than the last, simply rating, quality, and good vibes. Alternatively, I still think Don's detective story with his level-headed sidekick Sophie could be amazing and has a chance to work with other outlets, a.k.a. Funhouse, since Don works there too. Love and respect.
Did Ahab just pitch a show for Funhouse?
I'm just a question reader.
Come on, Ahab. What do you want from us?
Don got scared away by Trailer Academy and stuff for the stretch goals. That's what he was telling me recently, actually. Just he's concerned about responsibility of budget for Patreon.
I get that for sure.
He's weirded out by the whole situation. So I don't know. I think he's like creating a weird tension that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
We should all convince him to do more.
Yeah, the best you can do is tweet at him, support him, at
Yeah.
the Nasakova.
Yeah.
And I think in general, I think that's tricky. Anytime like we get a question that's like, "Hey, that person that's not among you right now, they can't answer this question. Answer it for them." And like, I feel uncomfortable doing that. So,
What was the question?
what's up with Don's Discount Gaming?
Oh, he loves it. He just has to find the time.
There you go. Inquire via Don.
Tweeting.
I just want to say for the record, I hope there is more Don's Discount Gaming because this show is
so
incredible.
good.
Flawless.
Real good.
So good.
Our final question of the day is specifically targeted at Ian Hink.
Whoa.
This is from Beagle Bites.
Finale.
Final
Ian.
question.
What inspires you to write music with lyrics related to gaming for your weekly show? Are you self-taught on the various instruments you play?
It's kind of a weird backward thing because I love making music, and with the show, generally theming them around video games is like a prompt that because sometimes it's easier to come up with stuff when you're forced into a little box, kind of, and when you don't have to take it that seriously, because the songs, they can be kind of like silly more than like actually good. So it's just like a fun box to put myself in to be able to write those. I've got training in singing, years of that. I took 7 years of piano lessons when I was a kid, but kind of forgot it all. I played trumpet, and I kind of just like messed with synths because they're sort of like piano, but I understand how they work. So, and I'm kind of teaching myself Ableton as I do this. That's also part of the inspiration because I'm learning skills that I can use later while I'm doing this. So it's like test runs on all kinds of different things I want to try out. Yeah, so that's that, I guess.
That was actually a good answer.
Thanks. I felt like I was rambling, maybe.
No, I like that a lot.
Okay. Well,
We
thanks.
love you, Ian. We're here for you. Oh, man.
Yeah.
We got through a lot of questions.
That's a
How
lot
many
of
did we
questions.
get through?
Yeah,
I wasn't counting them, and they're not numbered, so I can't give you
okay.
the exact number. But it looks like we're over halfway.
Nice.
Oh, man.
So I think that's decent.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
That's tricky. Oh, sorry, Kyle.
The first week we got through all of them, I guess because there were fewer $20 and ups. The first month, I mean.
And people might not have known about
Sure.
it. They might not have seen, the posting. They might not have known to expect
I
that.
feel so bad that we don't get to answer all of them.
Me too.
Well, I have the same thing with Cup of Jones. I get questions all the time. And I'm like, I already kind of answered that on a previous episode, or the question is kind of invalid now because they've announced something that already answered your question. And so I feel bad for people out there because that is a goal of ours, that like if you are at this tier, you will get to ask us a question. But realistically, we only have so much time to answer these. So hopefully this is something we will get better at. One thing that I can say is, Ben, I don't know if you answered. Did you answer in the opposite order, like from down up, oldest to newest? Because maybe that's something we can do. That if you're really concerned, you really want to get your question in there, then maybe just hit up Ben and ask like when is that post going live? Do you know? And just get right on that post when you see it pop up in Patreon, and then the higher you are up on the comment list, the more likely we are to get to your question.
Yeah, I just want to say that
like,
this was not my fault. I didn't know that I was responsible for this, and then I was like, should I just make this post? Should I do this? And so if I am responsible for this, I can definitely be more communicative and let people know when it's going up. I think what happened is we got caught with our pants down after E3, and we were like, oh shit, we have to do the June question.
I wasn't even
and answer.
wearing my pants.
Yeah,
True.
but I do read the questions in the order that they were asked, so I do the oldest ones first because I thought that was the only fair way to do
No,
it.
that's like a Q&A. When you go watch a Q&A live, that's how they work. That's how I justify it.
So
makes sense.
we'll get better at that. We'll get smoother.
Yeah. I'd like to let people know like a week in advance.
Sure.
And then so like the post is going up at this time on this day, and so
gotcha.
kind of everybody has a fair chance to get in there quickly if they want to.
That's a cool idea.
And that's I think that's one surprising thing with Easy Ally so far is that month just whizzes by. You know,
God,
I
it's so
blink and
fast.
it's the 28th every month. Like, oh God! And so the community video and all this stuff. So just the schedule of the month, just like every day and every week, you know, of Easy Allies, we'll get better at. You know, just kind of the natural feel of like what we should be prepping for and what's coming up. So. And obviously dishing out responsibilities to handle that stuff. So well done, Ben. Good job. Thank you, Ben.
Well done.
Show of hands. Who's wearing pants?
I'm wearing shorts.
Oh,
Weird.
there you go. Yeah, safe answer.
No comment.
I do feel really bad that we didn't get to everyone's questions, but like Brendan said, we will find better ways of doing this.
And if your question didn't get asked, send it along to me on Cup of Jones or on the next Q&A.
Yeah.
Or it never hurts to just drop it in chat while we're streaming. You know, we can answer it there as well.
Yeah, and Brendan, that's actually a really good thing because like a lot of these questions, we have multiple venues for that stuff. Like Frame Trap, we don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be about video games. So if your question didn't get read here and you want to give it a shot on Frame Trap, you can do that as well. It's easy. AskEasyAllies@gmail.com. But yeah, I've had enough of you guys. I got to go listen to Paradise City. So thank you everybody who asked your questions. This was great fun. Thank you guys for giving such detailed answers and as always, your passion and enthusiasm. But yeah, we'll see you next month right around this time. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
Who are you?